Hi, I'm Leoni from grade 9, and today I'll be talking about the impact of academic pressure on students. Have you ever felt the pressure to get a good report card to show your parents? Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the amount of homework you have to do? These are common signs of academic pressure. I have definitely felt this before, and it wasn't only a one-time thing. According to Pacific Teen Treatment, a mental health facility located in Southern California, academic pressure is an experience in which a student is burdened by the demands of time and energy to achieve specific academic goals, which can affect them emotionally and physically. I chose to speak about this topic because I often feel very stressed by academic expectations. And it was recently when I realized that the thousands of other students from all around the world share the same experience as me. When I realized, it was when I was talking with my friend, discussing about how one bad grade can affect our whole final grade. She was saying, if my final grade is fine, then I'm fine. But if my parents find out about my one failed test, I'm so dead. Well, this really made me think because, yeah, my parents would be upset too. But why? What are these expectations of being perfect and getting all A's or straight A's? Why does my friend and I have to fear the fact that our parents will be upset with us from one failed test? I don't believe that the scores and grades we get from tests and assignments determine one's intelligence. Today, I'll be mainly focusing on the common factors and effects of academic pressure on students. According to Healthline.com, more than 70% out of 4,300 students surveyed felt often or always stressed over schoolwork. How many of you sometimes or always feel this way too? For those who have already graduated, how vividly do you remember staying up until late trying to finish homework? Raise your hand if you do or did. Take a look around the room, and you might see the same result as the studies, about 70%. This shows the frequency of stress that school assignments can hold on students. Effects of academic pressure can be obsession over grades, anxiety, sleep difficulties, inability to relax, social isolation, and more. A lot of students all across the globe have after-school activities, whether it's extra-school or competitive sports. By the time they get home, the sun is already set and dinner's being made. The concept of having school and an after-school activity or activities is already exhausting. However, especially in high school, students must eat their dinner, finish their night routine, and finally work on their homework. Even if the assignment takes a short or long time, this can cause stress on a student. Even as a freshman here in CA, I struggle with time management throughout the whole school year. I can't imagine what it would be like in the future when I'm a sophomore, junior, and then a senior. High school sports in CA are held after school 3 days a week. Additionally, the games are held on Saturday. Let's suppose that I have an assignment due on Thursday. I would normally do it after sports on Wednesday, since I have to work on assignments from school and extracurriculars from other days. From personal experience, I take many extracurriculars after school, so I do not have an ideal balanced routine that a student should be having. Sports usually end at 5:45, so I leave school at about 6. On Wednesdays, I have belly dancing, so I go to my class, and when I arrive home, it's already 8:30 p.m. I unpack my bag, eat dinner, take my dog on his night walk, and by the time I go to my room, it's already about 9:30. I finish my night routine, I already take a shower since I'm aware that I'll be staying up until late to finish the homework I have. I start working at about 10:30 or so. You might think, well, it shouldn't take that much time. Just finish it and go to sleep. Unfortunately, in my case, I have a huge obstacle called procrastination waiting me. My exhaustion is at full capacity and my concentration level is low, and I feel like I'm running out of battery. While these thoughts are scrambling in my head, time passes and I realize that I wasted some time. I tell myself that I'm here to do my homework, so I do it, but every time I check the clock, my motivation goes down. I have the strong urge to just sleep and not finish everything. Some days I feel too exhausted and I sleep, but most of the time I stay awake and I finish my homework slowly. By the time I complete my homework and I'm ready to sleep, my phone displays sometime around 12 to 1 a.m. The amount of hours I sleep don't satisfy the amount I actually need as a teenager. I sleep about 5 to 6 hours every day, but according to Sleep Foundation, a teenager needs about 8 to 10 hours of sleep every day. I know I'm not the only one experiencing this, and this is only one example of academic pressure. Many students don't satisfy the expected amount of sleep due to schoolwork or work in general. Sleep Foundation reports that 70% of high school students report inadequate sleep on school nights. Schools Australia Reach Out states that students can feel pressure from their parents, school, teachers, society, or themselves to achieve higher grades and academic success. For example, when my friends and I get our test scores back, we often share what we got. There was one time where my grade wasn't as good as my friends, and ever since then, I make sure I'm confident with my test scores so I don't feel ashamed sharing it. My friends never criticized me, and it's not their fault. It was me. I felt that I didn't fit in, and that I embarrassed myself in front of my friends. This can either become motivation to do better in your classes, or can become academic pressure. In my case, it was academic pressure. There's another case which is the most common reason for a student to feel academic pressure. Expectations from parents, also known as parental pressure. Don't upset me with your report card. Study more, or else you won't find a good job in the future. This isn't what I was hoping for. Why did you get this grade? Words like these can build up stress in a student, which according to the American Psychological Association can result in conditions such as depression, anxiety, self-harm, and eating disorders. The type of academic pressure that I encounter the most is the expectation of having to get good grades. I mainly feel this from my parents and myself. The constant reminder of, have you been getting good grades, triggers me a lot. It makes a cold shiver run down my spine. It makes me feel uncomfortable. This happens even when I have been getting good grades and I'm not guilty to answer yes. No matter the amount of assignments, I constantly feel stressed and anxious. But I want to let you all know that you should not be ashamed of yourself for feeling this way. These feelings of stress are very common amongst people from all around the world. There are several ways to cope with academic pressure. One major issue within academic pressure is time management. So creating a table, schedule, or checklist to follow may help. Recently, I've been struggling to catch up on my checklist where I write all my assignments and summative too. My alternative coping strategy of mine is this: talking. Getting everything stressful out of my mind in the form of speaking makes me feel lighter. For others, it might be doodling, drawing, laughing, listening to music, or even spending time with your friends. Hobbies and interests are really helpful when stressed, as it can soothe your mind and your heart, and you can feel more calm and satisfied. Another strategy I use is going out to eat with my friends. I love food and I love my friends, and the combination is my definition of pure happiness. The other day, I went to eat chicken curry and naan with my friends, and it was absolutely amazing. I had the best time, and even though I was super stressed about the assignments I had to finish that day, I was able to complete it in no time, and I even slept before 12. These little, simple things can really help you become a more organized, healthy person. I hope that you can all find your little happiness to cope with academic pressure. I know that you will get through it, and you're not alone. I believe in you. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.